Good afternoon to all. Thank you for joining us. My name is Hsiao, and together with my colleagues from Aespada, BCA, and HDB, we will be your webinar hosts today. This year's e-Symposia is remodeled from the Urban Sustainability R&D Congress held biennially since 2011. In place of a two-day physical event, we've lined up a year-long series of webinars that will cover research themes and innovation topics of interest to us all. On behalf of our 20 co-organizing ministries and agencies, we welcome your active participation, suggestions, and sharing at the various webinars over the year. For today's webinar, we will focus our discussion on leveraging tech and innovation to support our built environment companies to grow and transform, in particular to enhance productivity, digitalization, and sustainability in the sector. We have lined up speakers from A-Star, BCA, and HDB who will take us through some of the programs that will be of interest to companies. We will also be inviting companies to share their experiences working with our agencies on these programs. This will be followed by a Q&A session. Without further ado, I will pass over the time to Mr. Chung, MND's Chief Technology Officer and Senior Director of Research and Development, as well as Professor Tan Zhiwei, Assistant CEO of A-Star's Enterprise Division, for their opening remarks. Mr. Chung and Professor Tan, please.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Kelvin. I'm currently serving as the Chief Technology Officer of MND. So today's webinar is a part of a year-round series of e-Symposium webinars. For those who have joined us for the earlier webinars, I hope you have gained useful insights into research and innovation in the urban solutions and sustainability space. More importantly, my colleagues and I look forward to hear any feedback or ideas to harness emerging science and tech in those areas. So today's discussion focus on tech and innovation opportunities in the built environment. So the built environment industry has been widely disrupted by COVID. This acts impetus for the industry to explore tech and innovation to emerge stronger. So harnessing tech and innovation, for example, digitalization, automation, and sustainability, will be increasingly key to drive companies to remain competitive and growth. Our agencies stand ready to support the industry in your efforts. We have various initiatives or programs to support your needs. Other than providing co-funding for innovation projects to address your company's challenges, we can also help introduce tech solution providers with their near-ready technologies for deployment to you to match your needs. Our agencies are also prepared to help provide space or opportunities for you to test bed or pilot your innovative products or solutions. So I urge companies to ride on the momentum to come forward and explore possible collaboration with our agencies and innovation partners. My colleagues will share more about the programs and success story of how industry and research could work together in the built environment. I hope they will be of interest to you. Lastly, I would like to encourage companies to make use of the opportunities to create, pilot, and adopt innovative solutions and technology, and not only to address immediate challenges faced by you all due to COVID, but also to build capabilities to be future ready for the post-pandemic landscape. So with that, I would like to hand the time to Zhiwei, my colleague from A-Star, who is the co-organizer of this webinar. A-Star is no stranger to most of us. So MND is partnering A-Star to promote industry, research and innovation in the built environment space. I will let Zhiwei share more on what A-Star can offer. Zhiwei, over to you, please.
Dear industry partners and friends, fellow colleagues from public agencies and IHL, welcome to this I&E e-Symposium webinar, jointly organized by both A-Star and MND agencies. Kevin has shared in its opening remarks that the urban solutions and sustainability domain is gathering much momentum. In 2019, A-Star set up the Urban and Green Technology Horizontal Technology Program Office. This UGT-HTPO seeks to drive greater coordination and alignment of research capabilities within A-Star for the USS domain. In doing so, we hope to contribute to Singapore's national agenda to tackle challenges in sustainability and climate change, many of which are global in nature. However, we cannot do this alone. Public agencies need to harness and, where necessary, augment the industry's capabilities to translate and commercialize research outputs into outcomes. In this regard, Aestada is working very closely with MND, MSc, and NRF on the new USS Innovation and Enterprise Initiative. Through this initiative, we seek to work with partner agencies, IHL, and most importantly, industry partners to step up efforts to translate IP from lab to product in the market. One such example is the Integrated Environmental Modeler, or IEM for short. The IEM is an advanced modeling tool that allows users to protect the interrelationships and combined impact of solar, wind, temperature, noise, and other environmental factors on an urban setting. Building on IEM, we are pleased to inform that Aestada further enhanced the performance of IEM and has been working with our local SME, with Vision, for the commercial deployment of IEM Sim. IEM Sim helps urban planners and building owners, both public and private, to design more sustainable and livable cities. We hope to engage partners to co-create more of such commercialization stories through the following three areas. Firstly, the USSIE initiative seeks to enable digital and technological transformation in the USS domain. We aim to do so by encouraging greater adoption of technologies and digitization tools. The COVID-19 pandemic has presented opportunities such as harnessing technologies to improve productivity, enhance safety in companies. As such, we are working with USS agencies to develop innovative and cost-effective solutions to transform and uplift productivity in the built environment sector. Today, Aestada will be sharing one of our training program, which is known as the Operations Management Innovation, OMNI for short. This is a joint initiative by both Syntech and SkillsFuture Singapore. OMNI trains key personnel in companies to look across existing work processes to determine areas of operational improvements. We'll also be sharing examples of ready-to-go technologies which can be readily adopted by companies. Through this sharing, we hope to be able to engage end-user companies which are keen to take up these solutions. At the same time, we also welcome companies who wish to partner Aestada to proliferate these solutions to the industry. Secondly, the USSIE initiative will work with USS agencies to support companies with the ambitions to leverage technology and innovation. For example, to differentiate their existing products, services, and business models. We will support companies with their entire suite of initiatives across Aestada. This includes the Operation and Technology Roadmap, T-Ups at Common, Tech Access, and SimTech Innovation Factory, among others. We are also prepared to bring in other ecosystem partners, such as the IHLs and Centers of Innovation, to support your innovation journey. We also support agencies on matters relating to IP management, including helping agencies to build up our IP management capabilities. We welcome interested companies to approach Aestada with your specific innovation needs and challenges. Thirdly, the USSIE initiative seeks to foster stronger linkages across companies in different domains and industry sectors. Through such exchanges, we hope to create more opportunities for technologies developed in one sector to apply to others. This series of e-Symposium organized at MND is one such example of cross-pollination of ideas and solutions. The Aestada Collaborative Commerce Marketplace, or ACCM for short, provides another such platform to which networking for ideas and businesses can be carried out. Today, the ACCM platform has more than 2,000 members across various industry sectors. ACCM members enjoy various complementary features such as searching for partners, joining various interest groups, and participating in call for proposals. I welcome all of you to sign up as ACCM members to benefit from the various networking and engaging opportunities which will bring productive outcome to your companies. So together with our agency partners, MND, HDB, and BCA, we have assembled an exciting lineup of speakers across our agencies and companies for you today. We trust that you will have a fruitful time with us as much as we have in sharing this with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Tan. We'll start off with a presentation by Dr. Hsiao Piau, Program Director of BCA's Advanced Construction and Innovation Planning Department, who will share an overview of research and innovation programs available to support deployment of innovation solutions in the built environment. Dr. Ng, please.
Agencies within the MND family. There are currently 5 pillars, ranging from advanced construction, where we look into subject matters such as robotics, automation, as well as additive manufacturing. Other pillars would include resilient infrastructure, new spaces, greater sustainability, and these cities in nature. It's worthwhile noting that under one of the horizontals, we're also interested to look into R&D for smart and advanced facilities management. So one of the bottom-up programs that I would like to share over here is the Built Environment Accelerate to Market program. So this program, is unique in a sense that we work with industry partners to identify the industry challenges that they face. And from there, we look out for potential solution providers that could come in to develop the solutions to meet these industry challenges. And typically, there are 2 phases for this solutions development. 3 months, to come up with a first prototype, and another 18 months to come out with a solution that is ready to be deployed in the market. So, after all this R&D programs, how do we then test-bed the solutions? In fact, we have heard feedback from some of the industry partners that very often they have a solution in mind, or they already developed a solution, but they find difficulties in identifying a suitable test site. And when there's a suitable test site in place, how could they then gain access to this particular test site? So to actually cater to such needs, the Built Environment Living Lab Framework, BELLF in short, was a new initiative launched in September 2020. It is led by the Ministry of National Development and the Building Construction Authority. It aims to strengthen partnerships between the public and the private sector and facilitate opportunities to test-bed innovative proposals in living laboratories and open up the opportunities to harness and trial new emerging technologies as we continue to develop the cities of tomorrow. In this slide, we would like to share a little bit more on what this BELF aims to do. I think the key objective is to address some of the common pain points from the industries, and it aims to help our firms and solution providers in 3 key ways. First, we aim to provide a one-stop shop front, to be made available to firms to submit proposals to test-bed their innovative solutions. This one-stop service is currently administered by the Building and Construction Authority and open to all BE firms and technology solution providers. This platform provides firms with a single touch point to submit and process their proposals without the applicant having to approach multiple agencies on their own. Secondly, proposals that demonstrate merit and acceptable risks will be expedited for test bidding in living laboratories, and any innovative test bidding proposal that's ready for deployment and beneficial to the built environment could be considered under the Built Environment Living Lab framework. And lastly, one common feedback that we receive from potential solution providers is that they are uncertain about the regulatory requirements and they need support to navigate through the different regulatory clearance processes. So this is where the Built Environment Living Lab framework could come in partnership with the Building Innovation Panel, which I will share later, to help solution providers navigate through these processes. And where necessary, a regulatory sandbox could be introduced for proposals facing regulatory issues. So all in, what we hope to see is that firms will have greater confidence to continue their innovation journeys and enable them to build up their track records. Moving forward to the scope of the BELF. So by and large, we do not place any strict restrictions on the scope of the proposals. But what we ask is that any innovative solution that steps forward to BELF should be ready for deployment and must bring benefits to the built environment. So some examples could include new and innovative building materials, robotics and automation solutions, or even some of the IDD solutions that solution providers would like to test out. So these proposals that are being put forward to BELF will be reviewed accordingly, okay, depending on the applications and the readiness of the solutions to be deployed. Moving on to the evaluation criteria. Okay, so proposals will be evaluated based on merit and whether they fulfill the following 3 criteria for test bidding. All right. Firstly, the most important part is that this proposal must benefit the built environment and contribute towards our efforts to achieve a livable, sustainable, and resilient city. Secondly, it must solve some of the existing problems in our built environment ecosystem. And this innovation should have the potential to be scaled up for adoption in Singapore and beyond. And lastly, we will also look out for the improvements that these solutions can potentially bring. Examples would include improvements in productivity or cost savings. As shared earlier, okay, sometimes solution providers face challenges in navigating through some of the regulatory clearance processes. And hence, the Building Innovation Panel is in place to assist firms in expediting evaluations and obtaining regulatory clearances for their innovative solutions, technologies, or materials before they move on for test bidding or for actual deployments. A certificate of in-principle acceptance will be issued by the respective regulatory agency if the solution fulfills all the regulatory requirements. And lastly, I would like to share the agencies that are on board the Building Innovation Panel. As you can see, there's a total of 7 regulatory agencies on board, including BCA, LTA, MOM, NEA, PUB, SCDF, and URA. On top of that, we have HDB and JTC helping us on this panel provide the user's perspective during the evaluations of these solutions. So with that, I've come to the end of my sharing session today. And I just want to share this link to the Built Environment Living Lab framework. And I hope to see your submissions very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ng, for that comprehensive presentation. We'll next have Mr. Heru, Director of HDB's Center of Building Research, who will share more about the Cool Ideas Enterprise program that promotes innovation in the built environment. Mr. Heru, please.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. I'm Heru from HDB. Thank you, Piau, for his interesting sharing on the Living Lab framework and also BM. So today I'll be talking about HDB's Cool Ideas Enterprise. Okay, so let me share my slides first. Okay, hi, I'm Heru, Director of Center of Building Research from HDB. So today I'll be sharing a Cool Ideas Enterprise, or CIE for short. Right, so HDB is the master planner and developer of Singapore's public housing, building flats that currently house more than 80% of the resident population. So as we continue to drive smart and sustainable towns through research and innovation, we recognize that There are also many innovations out there developed by local enterprises, which could synergize with HDB's efforts. However, we do recognize that there is a need to help enterprises to close the gap between ideas and translation to implementable solutions. So this can be addressed through sharing of knowledge by domain experts, providing test bed opportunities, help to build their track records, and most important of all is the funding support. So that's why in partnership with ESG, we have earlier on, I think back in 2018, launched the Cool Ideas Enterprise Program, okay, or the CA program. So this is actually an open innovation platform for enterprises to work with HDB to co-develop and implement solutions in HDB estates. Okay, so what's so unique about CIE? So first of all, HDB has more than 50 years of experience and domain knowledge in the built environment. So we are in a position to help, or rather to mentor and guide our participants. We also have test bed capabilities at HDB's Center of Building Research. As you can see from here, this is our master lab located in Woodlands. So this is where actually enterprises who participate in our CIE program will get to will have the opportunity to test bed their solutions in a safe and controlled environment. Okay, and after that, so once the solution is successfully test bedded, right? So we will provide pilot opportunities at our living lab, which means that it's in actual HDB estates. So when we refer living labs, we are talking about really the live-in environments. So we do have the greenfield sites like Tengah and Punggol. We have a success story where one of our Cool Ideas program participants has piloted their solution in Punggol North Shore. And not forgetting that there are also 2 brownfield sites as part of our living lab, which are Yihua and Teck Yi. So that would give the opportunity for enterprises to retrofit their solutions in these existing estates. And also, in the later part of this webinar, we have Hocklim Engineering, who will be sharing more about their experience working with HDB under the CIE program. We are in partnership with ESG, and we'll facilitate in terms of getting the funding support. So you can look at CIE as a whole as a one-stop shop for enterprise to really test out their solutions, and we will facilitate to make it happen, and at least at a pilot in our HDB estates. Okay, so what kind of solutions are we looking for? So there are 2 categories. One is the open category. Okay, you can look at this as, because it's open all year round, you can look at it as like a 7-Eleven, you know, where it's open 24/7. So you can submit your solutions related to any of the domains here, as shown in the slides on the left. So really, we are looking for near-ready solutions so that we want to have a quick wins and a quick turnaround time. And you're welcome to actually write into us to submit any of your innovative solutions. Okay, the next category is the challenge statement category. Now, for this category, it is more of a very specific, it's more specific or thematic, or whatever you call it. We will usually launch them through either workshops or events. Okay, so, and these challenge statements are more specific, like I mentioned. For example, it could be related to AI or IoT technology application, or it could be related to construction productivity or even facilities management. So with that, I think we are targeting to have about 2 to 3 of these challenge statements per year. And we welcome innovative ideas from local enterprises. So those of you who are interested to find out more about CIE, you might want to scan the QR code or check it out from our website. Please do also send us your contact details if you are interested, so that for any upcoming launches of challenge statements, we will keep you informed via email. Okay, so with that, thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Heru. Next up, we have Dr. Roland Lim, Associate Technical Fellow at Aespada, to share more about Aestada's Operations Management Innovation Program, OMNI, a program which promises to help raise the efficiency of BE companies' operations. Dr. Lim, please.
Welcome to this talk on powering the built environment productivity with OMNI and ready-to-go solutions. We know that we are now still in the COVID-19 pandemic, and this presents a serious threat to most industry, and also including the BE industry. And therefore, as leader of the industry, it is important for us to protect the people first, because without people, there will be no organization. And of course, we got to also serve the customers, because without the customer, there will be no business. And with people on one hand, and the business on the other hand, we then have business continuity. And on top of that, in this particular period especially, we are faced with the 4D challenges. And the 4D challenges are digital, also displacement, and we know that the value chain of the construction industry is also disrupted. And sad to say, some companies are being destroyed. Therefore, importantly is particularly the BE industry itself, we have many of the challenges. And the BE industry is a value chain from design to make to order. We face the challenges of design error, design challenges, inconsistency in proficiency of the level of designer, plus the fact that we have manual planning based on experiences itself. And because the BE industry is a project-based operation, and therefore you can find that there's lack of strong project management skill, experience to handle the complexity. On top of that, we have delay in having drawing approved, and on-site on the shop floor, we have safety issue, quality, cost, and then lack of space and so on and so forth. So there are many challenges within the BE industry itself. But not only the design make to order, but also including the construction site operation. And here we have challenges such as lack of effective coordination, lack of timely visibility, manual, many of the risky manual work itself, and also lack of standard SOP for logistic documentation, long lead time in distribution, in loading, long lead time in installation, and also long lead time in plastering, for example, and plus other things itself. So therefore, these are the challenges that the built environment industry are facing itself. And then how to break through. As the saying goes, 破茧成蝶. That means we must break away from the cocoon that we are currently in and transform into a butterfly. But to do that, importantly, we must change our thinking, we must change our habits. And therefore, we must break out from this self-constructed world of limitation, and we can transform. And therefore, the challenges for the BE industry is that the only sustainable competitive advantage for a company in the BE industry is that if you can have the ability to transform faster than the environment. And importantly, for any organization, at this point in time, it is the ability to learn, it is the ability to unlearn, and it is the ability to relearn. And importantly is how can we put this into action rapidly? Because that will be your ultimate competitive advantage. No organization will ever get better by chance. Organization can only get better by change itself. But in order to change, in order to improve productivity, in order to transform, it is important for us to remember the 2E dimension of transformation and productivity. First of all, is the effectiveness. The effectiveness means that you have a business, you have a service, you have a product, you have a customer and the market itself. So effectiveness refers to the top line. But in order to deliver the effectiveness, we must have the efficiency of an organization. Efficiency refers to the resources, to the activity that you have. How efficient are you in delivering the effectiveness to the market itself? Now, if you were to put effectiveness and efficiency into a metric like that, efficiency on the y-axis, effectiveness on the x-axis itself, Now, if you are a company that is effective, top line is good, and efficient as well, that means the bottom line is low, then you are a company that thrives. Why? Because your profit margin is high. But if you are a company that's effective but not so efficient, then the profit margin is low, then you survive. But if you are a company that is not effective and not efficient, then you die, but you die slowly. Worst of all is that if you are a company that is not effective, your product, your services is bad, but you do it so fast. You also die, but you die quickly. Therefore, how do we avoid to die quickly and to die slowly? And this is where most companies would want to improve their operation, improve their delivery, improve their construction, fabrication. But how to do that? Now, what leads to low effectiveness? Most companies adopt the point improvement method. Now, the point improvement method means that you focus on one department at a time. And the objective is the tool and the technology itself. And this will not work. Because why? Because your customer don't look at you vertically into a department. Therefore, a much more effective, much more sustainable approach is to look at it proactively, look at it holistically, look at it from a total value chain approach. And this is what we mean by the business focus, which is mean that look at the horizontal part of the business itself, because the customer gives you an order because of your horizontal focus of organization is in it. And then in this particular approach, the tool and the technology become an enabler to enable you to achieve your business objective. Then the company is able to transform and is able to move from survive into thrive. And therefore, we come up with what we call the 5 pillars of operational excellence of a company. And this is a framework that we have learned from the industry itself. Therefore, in order to be operational excellent, most importantly is the value proposition. That means, what are you in business for? What is the value that we can deliver to the customer? What is the value that you give to the customer that is better than the competitor? And then we focus on the processes itself. How do you streamline the processes and how do you look at the processes horizontally so as to deliver the value? But most importantly is the people's pillar. In our belief, after working with this company for so many years, we realize that you have to improve the people first. The people improve the process. And together with the people, the processes, you bring value to the business. But of course, we are in the digital transformation age. And therefore, importantly is how do we tap on digital technology so that the digital technology can make the processes better, faster, cheaper, and make the people smarter. But in order to grow the 4 pillars of operational excellence together, you need the middle, which is the leadership. So I'm glad today that leaders of the BE industry are here to understand and to learn about what are the 5 pillars of operational excellence. And we are able to transform this framework of operational excellence into a methodology so that we can transfer to you. A methodology means that it has a proper guide, template, and so on and so forth. We can guide company from stage 1 to understand the value proposition of the business itself, to stage 2, understanding the processes, how to map out the processes, how to stage 3, how to determine the hotspot opportunity, to stage 4, where are the methods, where are the tools, where are the technology to help you to improve the company itself. And of course, the stage 5 is the roadmap. So let me explain briefly what are the 5 pillars of operational excellence. Now, it has to start with the value proposition. And therefore, for any transformation and productivity to happen in the company, you must look at the business model of the company first. And in this particular business model, there are 9 building blocks. And importantly, for company to be able to survive and thrive is the value proposition. Meaning to say that what's the value you bring to the market and to the customers? What are the services, what are the products? What's so unique about your value proposition as compared to your competitor itself? And of course, the second block would then be the customer. No company has only one segment of customer. You have many, many various segments of customer. And how then do you deliver the value to the customer through the channel, which is block number 3? And then what's the relationship with the customer, which is block number 4? So for any business to thrive, importantly is to do the 4 block well. If you do the 4 block well, then your revenue will go up. So revenue here refer to the top line, refer to the effectiveness of a company. But of course, in order to deliver the value, it is important to have block number 6, which is the value chain, which is your company itself from design to fabrication to installation on the on-site itself. And then importantly is also block number 7, what are the resources, what are the equipment that you have? And block number 8 is the partner in the supply chain itself. The whole value chain has to work. In terms of productivity and transformation, if you do well in 6, 7, 8, you are able to deliver the value. And also in terms of transformation and productivity, you are able to lower down your operational costs, which is meant by the efficiency. So if you were to do well in efficiency and effectiveness, your company will survive and thrive. So you got to start out with the business first as a whole. Once you identify that you know what are the challenges, then you look at the processes itself. And the processes, like I say, you got to look at processes horizontally. You know the organization are organized vertically into a department, but you must look at the processes horizontally because the value flow from the supplier to your company and to the customer itself. And in terms of horizontal focus of a company, we have tools such as value stream mapping, whereby we map out your organization from the customer on the right side to your company in the center and to the supplier on the left side. And not only do we have information flow, but you also have material flow itself at the enterprise level as well as on-site level. How you map it out, how does your operation look like? And then from here, you can then identify what are the hotspots, what are the opportunities that I can improve so that I can meet my business objective, so that I can satisfy my customer requirement itself. And then to look at the hotspot and opportunity, also to identify where are the horizontal integration. Because we know that importantly is how can we participate in the value chain from design to construction and all the way to fabrication and on-site installation of the construction industry itself. And therefore, horizontal integration is important. And not only horizontal integration, but also to look at the vertical integration. How does information flow? How does the process from the office, from the enterprise down to the on-site in the construction site itself? Then we can have improvement of the process. Then we can, once you identify the hotspot and opportunity, we can then use tools such as the Lean tools, the visual management, the 6S, the PDSA, and all these. There are many, many tools out there, but importantly is where are the hotspots in your operation, in your processes, so that you can then improve them and then identify opportunity, and then you can meet the business objectives. But you must never do it in a straight line manner. Many productivity projects, if it's in a straight line, start and finish, then it will end. But any productivity to sustain, to achieve operation excellence, it is important for us to look at it as a cycle. The plan, the do, the study, act, and then we improve further, but we must also standardize, which is the S, standardization, the do, the study, the act. And then the continuity will be able to be sustained. Now, once you improve your processes itself, then we look at the technology. Because now you already streamline your processes, you remove your non-value added activity of processes. This is the time whereby you do digitize or to automate the process. And then this is the time whereby, in fact, in Syntec itself, we have a Syntec model factory. And this is where we have a lot of technology there, whereby you can have the supply chain. At the supply chain level, we have a lot of digital technology, such as the inventory tracking system, such as the collection delivery management system, which is very useful in the construction industry, down to the enterprise level, manpower scheduling systems, and many a dashboard system down to the on-site, whereby we have the quality management system, we have the IoT, we have the many of the project resource management system, as well as automation technology, as well as Lean tool and the operation management tool itself. But importantly, for any company to be operational excellent, to sustain further, importantly is the leadership and the people. In our experience, we're working with so many companies, we realize that the sustainability of operation excellence is not the process itself, it's not the automation, it's not the digitalization itself, but it's the leadership and the people. So after working with so many SME, we realize that it's not the size of the company that matters. It is the mindset of the leader, it is the mindset of the management, it is the mindset of the people on the front line, on the on-site, that determine whether a company survive or thrive into the future itself. Therefore, in any kind of productivity transformation project. Importantly, you must focus on the process, on the digitalization itself, but I think more importantly is on the people. You can never make a process successful, you can never make a digital technology successful that people fail. Then it will not work. We know that from the company point of view, we want the output, we want the new product, we want the new quality, we want to have the quantity and the time. But from the people point of view, it is important that we motivate the people, it is important that we change the mindset of the people, it is important that we engage the people. Then we can be able to deliver the output itself. And that is the reason why it is not enough just to improve the process, it is not enough just to introduce digital technology. We must also improve the job and to increase the value per worker in the company itself. And this is utmost important. But like I said, in order to grow the four pillars together, we must have the leadership which is committed to improvement, to productivity improvement, and to transformation. And at this age in time, we realize that the critical skill of this century is not what you know. The critical skill is how can you access to what other people know. And therefore, we always say that if leaders are willing to transform, I can tell you the organization will transform. If you want to have more, you must become more. If you want things to change, you have to change. And if you want things to get better, you have to get better. If you want things to improve, you have to improve. And therefore, for everything to grow, it grows with you. And this is how the 5-pillar operation excellence come into play itself. And we are able to transform the framework of operation excellence into a methodology, like I say, so that we can transfer to you, so that we can guide your management into improving your operation. And we are able to put the program into a program we call the OMNI program, whereby we will learn, practice, and implement itself. And not only that, but we have a funding from SSG to help you to embark on operational excellence. And many companies in the B industry has already embarked on this OMNI program already. For example, this is a case study from a construction SME itself, which is in the business of improving their operation itself, and they are the leading facet contractor itself. And here they want to identify where are the workflow processes that they can automate, they can digitize, and they can smooth the process. And these are the impact they achieve. They may say 100% digitalization of form filling, 60% reduction of processing, takeoff quantity, and so on and so forth itself. And there are many, many other S&P case studies that I can show with you. But because of lack of time, let me move faster into other company example, for example. So many construction industry, SME, including MLE, has already participated in the OMNI program. And not only that, currently we have over 300 companies, over 1,000 productivity champions have gone through the program, and they have achieved 20 to 50% of improvement in productivity and transformed their company. And therefore, I encourage you to say that we need to transform. It is possible to transform, possible to improve the productivity of a company. And transformation must start now, and it must start from you. Dream big, start small, but you need to act now. And for this, I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lim. Aestada also has a wealth of ready-to-go solutions that can help companies enjoy quick wins and productivity gains. Mr. Wong Ming Mao, Aestada's Deputy Director of Industry Development, will share with us more. Mr. Wong, please.
Hi, my name is Ming Mao. Let me share screen. I shall now share some of our ready-to-go solutions that's developed by Simtech. Okay, we started the MPTC in 2011. Originally, we set it up as a center focusing on improving productivity, helping company improve productivity. But over the more recent years, we have moved towards digital transformation as well. So to help company understand about all these digital technologies, actually we have set up a model factory at Simtech for a discrete assembly line. But even though it's for assembly, a lot of the technology in there can be used for built environment as well. So we welcome all participants to come and join us when this phase is over. Okay, so in industrial digital transformation, what we are getting at eventually is to have a cyber physical production system. That means every physical system out there, we have a cyber model. With this cyber model, it can help us to monitor, and then we can make use of the cyber model to do a lot of smart stuff like machine monitoring, condition monitoring, and so on. Okay, Symtech digital manufacturing capabilities and research areas are divided into 4 categories. So under digitalization, digital transformation, previously my colleague Roland already shared on this. The manufacturing control tower is Symtech platform for Industrial 4.0. Okay, all our technologies that develop will be based on this platform. And we have been doing research in supply chain, such as last mile logistics, supply chain track and trace, demand planning. And then for enterprise-wide, we are very strong in planning and scheduling, predictive enterprise decision support, and business process automation. And for shop floor, we are looking into predictive maintenance, IoT-enabled equipment connectivity, predictive quality, and so on and so forth. Okay, so today, I'm only going to show some of those digital technologies that are relevant to the built environment. So what we have here are 6 technology. So I go through each one at a time. So first one is e-data logger. So e-data logger is a technology for you to digitize your paper forms. So we convert all the paper forms that we have now into a digital form using tablets. And then we can make use of all the functionalities that's available on the tablet. So this will help us go green, go paperless, and the data can be shared as well. So instead of saying so much, I will show a short video on this.
Using paper forms to collect data is manual, slow, and error-prone. To solve the problem, Symtech developed an Android-based solution called e-Data Logger Plus. With e-Data Logger Plus, companies can convert their paper forms into electronic versions and create high-quality reports on their mobile phones and tablets. During COVID-19, staffs who work on site can use e-Data Logger Plus to generate work reports, while staffs who work from home can read the reports instantly. Companies can create new forms with OpenOffice or import existing templates from Microsoft Word and Excel. Company staffs can fill up forms with e-Data Logger on their mobile phones and tablets. Completed forms are saved as PDF documents, while data can be consolidated into CSV spreadsheets.
e-Data Logger forms are built in with smart features such as auto-complete forms with database, date and time stamp, calculation formulas, GPS location, scan QR code and barcode, electronic signature, take photos with camera, insert photos from gallery, scan documents with text recognition, artificial intelligence, and many more.
Data logger forms can be shared via email, WhatsApp, or stored in a centralized cloud folder. And it works online and offline. Contact us today to find out more.
Okay, so to show you some case studies relevant to the built environment, we have two examples here. So one example is a supplier and service provider for vehicle-mounted equipment such as crane, hoist hooks, and so on. So they use e-data logger to digitize all their truck service report, inspection checklist, and so on. And they have a 50% reduction in cycle time for inspection and 50% reduction in pre-delivery checks for new truck installation. Another company that used this is a shifting service provider for general trucking and haulage. So they implemented e-data logger to digitize delivery order as well as HR documents. And there's a saving of 33% in the submission of delivery record and billing to customer. Next technology is Workflow Mobile. So e-data logger is a basic system for you to digitize your paper form. So the advantage of it is it has the same look and feel as the paper form. So it's easier for the staff and workers who are not savvy in IT to accept it. Workflow Mobile, on the other hand, there is a workflow related to it. Every task that we do, there's a workflow. When one staff finish one job, usually it's passed on to the next staff and so on and so forth. So Workflow Mobile has the flexibility it will auto route to the next person on the line for you. So I share a little bit more details. So basically we are empowering end user to build their own custom workflows, because in the industry, when you want to digitize certain platform, usually you need to engage an IT company to help you to build this workflow. But here, we develop this technology, allow you to configure this workflow using Excel spreadsheets. And then you load it into your engine, whether on an on-premise server or the cloud. And then you can then launch it, okay? So I'll show you a video on this.
WF Mobile stands for Mobile Workflow Technology, which is developed by Simtech to support the digitalization processes in companies. Many SMEs still rely on manual job sheets, forms and whiteboards to track key operational and production processes, which have many of the listed disadvantages and inefficiencies. The objective of WF Mobile is to provide companies with an agile and cost-effective tool for creating customized mobile workflows for their operations. Its key features include no programming required for flow creation, configurable workflow scenarios, role-based access control, and rule-based routing. WF Mobile can be taught to run multiple custom mobile workflows, for example, sales order, activity tracking, permit to work, inspection checklist, etc. One could build many flows and for many users. A digital workflow typically has three elements: the process flow, which defines the steps and user interface in the flow, the access control, which defines the roles and responsibilities in the flowchart, and the master data, which defines the standard drop-down list in the user interface. The product comes with ready configured components which are used for configuring the workflow user interfaces. The supported user devices are mobile devices running on Android or iOS and PCs running the Chrome browser. The backend engine runs on Windows Server on the cloud or on-premise. For added security, the system has a two-factor authentication administrator access. In addition, to enable more sophisticated applications such as third-party system interfaces, advanced capabilities are included in the technology. For example, we have the permit to work from working at height, where the location is auto-captured and other information about the construction site are entered before the applicant proceeds to respond to the checklist questions on the working at height permit. Photo evidence of the site can be added before signing off the permit to work application. The form is then routed to the supervisor for review and sign off. The completed permit to work application is sent by email to the interested party with an attached PDF file of the application. Customers have reported key business benefits such as productivity improvement, central visibility, planning and coordination, enforcement of compliance and knowledge retention, and ability to perform data analytics for operation improvement. The versatility of WF Mobile allows it to be applied in many industry sectors such as oil and gas, logistics and production, services and construction sectors. If you'd like to find out more, please do not hesitate to contact us.
Okay, similarly, we will show a couple of case study for workflow mobile. So this is a workflow mobile for a Ming construction company. So they use it for purchasing workflow and subcontract payment workflow. So from here, they can reduce the cycle time for Piau approval from 3 hours to 1 hour. Incorrect rework, frequency of rework reduced from 3.5 times a month to 1 time a month. And mean time between failure between increment is improved from 1 to 3 days. And automated subcon payment flow, which capture the phase payment and history. So it's a win for the main con, and it's also the win for the subcon. So next is another main con that specialized in M&E. So they use it for permit to work, all the different type of permit to work, purchase request, project documents. So reduction in cycle time in the e-permit to work, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the next two technology is inventory tracking system and collection and delivery system. So this is mainly used leveraging on RFID and barcode and our mobile devices to facilitate the tracking and handover and stock taking of assets and inventory. So inventory tracking system make use of RFID or barcode reader. So basically you use the handheld reader to scan the barcode or RFID reader, and the information is sent back to the backend notebook or server. So you can use this for locating and searching items, stock taking, and so on. We have implemented over 400 use cases for this inventory tracking system. So for example, a civil engineering firm specializing in earthworks, so they use this for monthly stock taking for their vehicle spares. So they reduce 66% in time for monthly stock taking, and reduce the headcount from 3 to 2, and improve management and visibility of spare parts. And then another company, a stone and tile specialist, they improve their cycle time from 2 hours to 1 hour, saving 2 hours every day. The estimated search time is also reduced by 95%. Okay, so you can see inventory tracking system can be used in many areas. Okay, an extension of the inventory tracking system is dealing with collection and delivery. We understand in the BE industry, in the construction industry, you need to move equipment, construction equipment from one site to another, like genset, like hoist, like excavator. So you can use this CDMS to transfer equipment from site to site. And there's a proof of collection, there's a proof of delivery, and there's also equipment routing. So this is this is an extension from the inventory tracking system. Okay, so an example is a car rental company. So this car rental company, they need to deliver to their customer and do all this. So they managed to reduce the man-hour, daily delivery and collection task from 3 man-hour to 2 man-hour. And then they increase a lot of visibility. Okay. So the next technology is maintenance management system. We understand from when you are doing in construction or all industries, there's always need for maintenance and ad hoc repair. So this system is basically an integrated maintenance operations management system to capture the entire maintenance from planning, from execution to report generation. So it has a front end, we use Android tablet, and the back end we use the server, which is accessible by any web browser. So in the interest of time, I will skip this video, but just to share some case study. So for example, this is a manufacturer of asphalt mixing plant. So the report generation effort was reduced by 75%, missed work order is reduced by 6%, and improvement in work process efficiency is 50%. Another company is that deals with roller shutter door. They improved 33% in administration. So they are able to cut down from 3 staff to 2 staff. And time saved for planning and reporting on maintenance activities saves from 4 hours per week to 2 hours per week. And then reduction of errors from 15 to Okay, last but not least, I'm going to share the manpower scheduling system. So the manpower scheduling system help companies to automatically generate your manpower plan. In the market, there are other solutions. They are called rostering solution, where the planner still need to drag and drop each person, each task onto a Gantt chart. But this manpower scheduling system is automated. So I'm sure all of us face this problem. We have labor constraint, we have fluctuating demand, we have worker with different skill set, and so on and so forth, and a lot of unforeseen circumstances. So what we want to do is to use a digital system to help us automate this whole system. So I will share a video on this now.
The manpower scheduling system lets you create schedules in one click, reassign tasks effortlessly, and share scheduling changes with your employees instantly. This allows companies to utilize their manpower more efficiently and reduce their planning efforts and cost. Key features of this solution include a one-click manpower assignment engine, easy update of manpower status and tasks, as well as automatic notifications for tasks scheduled. The solution consists of three main components: a web application for planners, an assignment engine that matches tasks to suitable employees, and a mobile app for notifications. The web application allows planners to set their tasks and group them according to projects. Projects may be modeled as client names or even project sites. Tasks are activities within each project. You can specify the start and end time of the task, as well as its duration. You can set recurrence to daily, weekly, or after a number of occurrences. Key data like task location, task priority, and skills can also be input here. The allocation engine takes into account employee attributes like skill set priority, their individual calendar availability, task and their location preference, employee type, and more. You can even define your own new attributes. After setting up, scheduling is as simple as clicking Allocate. Click Notify Schedule to notify all employees who have been assigned a task. You can view the schedule by employee or by project. Reports of the schedule are also generated. An example is the employee utilization report to show the loading of each employee. The mobile app is a platform for employees to receive notifications once tasks have been assigned to them. Each employee will receive a push notification, and after logging in, they can start their task from the app. You're able to set it such that if their location does not match the task location, they may not be able to start. This is to prevent employees from starting tasks remotely. Our team has a wide range of experience in engagement and involvement across a number of sectors in manpower scheduling. Do talk to us to find out how we can solve your manpower scheduling needs.
Okay, similarly, we shall share two case studies. So we have an engineering services company. So they lay fiber optic cable. So they need different users, different staff or different workers with different skill set. So the scheduling effort is reduced by 50%. And then they actually improve 20% in customer service. And then they actually able to optimize by our manpower allocation from 70% to 90%. And the improvement in project tracking and visibility is increased by 99%. So another company is an equipment rental company. So instead of, so the equipment such as a hoist is like an employee. It has a load capacity. Is it a 10-ton crane? Is it a 20-ton crane, 30-ton crane? And then it has certification validity period. And then it has maintenance status and so on and so forth. So using this manpower scheduling, you can also use it to schedule equipment together with the manpower together. So you can use it as well. So there's 70% reduction in manpower scheduling effort and 20% improvement in hoist utilization. So as you can see, these 6 systems are what we call ready to go. That means they are ready now. So if you have problems that can be addressed by this system, you can approach us and then we work through our authorized partners to help you implement this system and improve productivity immediately. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wong, for your informative presentation on ready-to-go solutions. We have heard from our earlier speakers about the programs available to companies here. But how have companies available to companies here? But how have companies benefited from the programs? Let's find out from Mr. Christophe Lee, co-founder and CEO of Aespada Technologies, who will share about his company's experience participating in BCA's Build Environment Accelerate to Market program. Mr. Lee, please.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christophe, co-founder of Aespada. Allow me some time to share my screen. So, good afternoon again. And first of all, on behalf of Aespada, I would like to thank BCA for inviting us as one of the speakers for today's webinar. My name is Christophe again, and I'm the co-founder of Aespada, a Singapore-based construction technology startup with an aim to tackle logistic challenges for the built environment. For the next 10 minutes, I will be sharing about what we are doing. I will give a quick introduction of our products, but most importantly, I will be sharing about our journey in BM, about the benefits that we as a startup have enjoyed by joining this program, and the challenges that we are facing in the industry. So Aespada was incorporated in late 2018. But we only started the product development of our first software after we were awarded the ASD phase in BM, which was around middle of 2019. While building our first platform, we had the opportunity to participate in the next phase, called the MD phase of BM, which involved market development and further enhancement of the product offerings. We eventually did a soft launch for both software in November 2020. And although the journey looked tough because of a pandemic situation, we have seen positive results, as can be shown by our media coverage. So how did we come across the BM program? So my partner and I are both from the construction industry. So one day while chatting with one of my subcontractors, he sent me a link on the BM initiative. So that was my first time I came across BM, and I did some research on the program, and it was a no-brainer whether to participate or not. Once I saw the BM was initiated by BCA, JTC, and ESG, I told myself that it was an opportunity not to be missed. So we were building a product for the construction industry, and for us, BM represented an ideal platform for startups to access BCA and other industry stakeholders. So we first participated in the ASD phase in 2019. We worked on our idea of developing the first and only last mile delivery platform for the construction industry. And we built a prototype with JTC's collaboration. So we benefited from the grant, which allowed us to cover some of the costs of the software development and also provided us with the opportunity to work closely with JTC to test bed and do a proof of concept. So for our MD phase in 2020, we had the support of 2 A1 main contractors who helped us to polish and fine-tune our software. So as part of the BM, the startups had to showcase their innovation during the IBU, the International Building Environment Week. In 2019, we took part in the exhibition at the Sense Expo and Convention Center. And in 2020, because of the COVID, we had to do a virtual exhibition. So thanks to our participation in the exhibition last year, we managed to secure our first customer. So we have developed 2 products. The first product is called Aespada SL, and as mentioned earlier, it is the only on-demand marketplace for material construction delivery in Singapore. The second product is called Aespada DMS and is a smart delivery management system tailored for the construction industry. So it helps main contractors to control and to optimize all their incoming deliveries with a time slot management system. It consists of a few key features such as scheduling, tracking, geofencing, and material inventory control system. So both products have been developed in-house, have been launched in November 2020, and have traction with paying customers on board. In this presentation, allow me to share a bit more about Aespada SL. So what does Aespada SL do? So the platform helps construction-related companies to book a van, lorry, or lorry crane from a network of underutilized heavy vehicles to pick up their material and deliver them to a destination point. So the vision here is to create a sharing economy for companies to co-share their vehicles with the aim to reduce CO2 emission, monetize underutilized assets, and access a fast and affordable transportation. So our customers can track the real-time location and movement of a material and know the time of arrival of a material to the construction site. Furthermore, Aespada SL has allowed them to keep track of their transportation budget and plan their deliveries more efficiently. Aespada SL promotes remote booking, monitoring, and requires little human-to-human interaction, ideal for the COVID environment. Users can submit an immediate booking or scheduled booking for future deliveries. So how has this influenced our traction so far? So since its launch in November 2020, we have seen a 15% organic growth month on month on the number of transactions. And we are proud to reach our milestone of 1,500 trips on the platform this month. We are working hard to onboard more lorries, more suppliers on the platform to service our customers. So soon after our BM participation, we have been featured by a few media as one of the innovators in the built environment. It also opened doors to BCA, JTC, and ESG. And ever since our participation, we have been in good terms with them and are more visible with potential customers and even potential investors. This has built up our credibility. So the BM ecosystem has also allowed us to build partnership with other innovators on the market, such as our integration between Aespada DMS and Novate Connect. So if we had to share some learning points with the industry and the challenges that we have gone through, I would have to say that putting the COVID-19 pandemic aside, the major challenge that we have faced is the adoption rate of our digital solution, especially for our second product, Aespada DMS. So this software is unique in Singapore and something that Western countries have implemented, but still in early phase of adoption in Asia. At this moment, we are still at the early adopter stage and have yet to cross the chasm to reach the mass market. Currently, site planners and logistics engineers spend a lot of time planning and coordinating each individual delivery using a whiteboard. Now, what we have done is to digitalize the whiteboard and share it digitally with all stakeholders on site. And the site team can access it anytime and anywhere. So the benefits are very clear, but some main contractors are still reluctant for a few reasons. First, they do not know if the site team will effectively use the software. Second, they did not cater for the software costs in their project budget. Third, they feel that they need to put additional manpower or full-time staff to use the software. And fourth, if the software had not been specified in tender contracts, then it becomes even harder to convince them. So how these changes have changed our approach with main contractors. So first, we aim to approach new projects in CBD areas and PPVC projects. These are projects where main contractors will be able to see the benefits quicker. Second, we have integrated with a few other software vendors such as Novate, Invigilo, and Expand to offer seamless updates on material deliveries. Through integration, we are providing more value to the customers. And finally, we are also targeting to approach consultants and property developers to have our software to be specified in tender contracts. I have now reached an end to my presentation. I would like to thank the BM committee for supporting the startup ecosystem and Aespada in the past couple of years. Now, if you would like more information about how Aespada can help your company to improve its material logistics, please drop me an email at christophe.mi@aespada.sg. And for the latest updates about our company, please follow us on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, for the illuminating presentation. Before we continue, I'd like to remind everyone that if you have a burning question, do use the Q&A function to submit your questions to us. Moving on, another company which has successfully leveraged government programs is Hocklim Engineering. Mr. Chua Yuan Shen, CEO of Hocklim Engineering, will share more about his company's experience with HDB's Cool Ideas Enterprise Program. Mr. Chua, please.
My name is Shen from Hocklim Engineering. Previously, Director Heru introduced the Cool Ideas Enterprise. Hocklim Engineering was one of the companies in this program, and I'm grateful to be invited here today to share with you our co-innovation tripartite collaboration journey. Before I share my slides, if you hear a rooster in the background, it's my company's rooster. I would like to apologize on behalf of the rooster. Let me share my slides with you. This is our project, Enhancement to the Joe Barrier System. This collaboration leverages on technology innovation to enhance the quality and productivity of the Joe Barrier system. It is a collaboration between a private organization, Hocklim, an Institute of Higher Learning, NTU, and a government agency, HDB. This is what I'll be sharing with you in the following slides. The Joe Barrier system, or GBS in short, is an innovative earth retention system which was co-developed by NTU and HDB. The Joe Barrier system is first of its kind vegetative slope retention system that is able to address rainfall-induced slope failures, one of the greatest threats faced by many countries due to unprecedented high-intensity rainfall events triggered by climate change. Our objective is to facilitate widespread adoption of GBS to industry through its enhancement and improve its scalability for nationwide impact. This is a commercialization effort to bring the GBS technology from the laboratory to the market by leveraging on technology innovation to develop a more refined product suited for a wider construction application. With better efficiency in production and quality standards, it will pave the way for widespread industry adoption. The GBS comprises of 3 layers: an exposed vegetative layer, fine grain layer, and coarse grain layer. The fine grain layer and coarse grain layer has distinct hydraulic properties that act as a barrier and keeps the slope dry, hence allowing it to maintain high slope strength, making it an ideal solution against rainfall-induced slope failure. The picture on the right shows a fairly gentle slope that failed during heavy rainfall early this year. The GBS is an ideal solution to prevent slope failure in this situation. GBS comes with a whole range of benefits. Namely, it is a climate resilient solution whereby it reduces the risk of flooding, reduces CO2 emissions, enhances slope stability. It enhances livability by enhancing greenery, allows natural light and ventilation when applied to underground car parks, reduces urban island heat effect, and optimizes resources with the use of recycled materials, space optimization, and is environmentally friendly. With Singapore and other tropical countries facing an ever-increasing threat from higher intensity rainfall, resulting in rainfall-induced slope failure, GBS is the ideal solution to counter the threat. If we're able to facilitate widespread adoption, the impact will be significant on the built environment. This solution can be applied throughout Singapore and exported overseas. Next, we would like to introduce the innovative solutions we developed. Below is an overview of the processes and solutions. We applied DFMA principles, or Lego style of modular construction, to improve the Joe Barrier system's overall scalability. We now have an established manufacturing line of semi-automatic equipment for pre-filling and pre-compacting the Joe Barrier system modules. This solution improved the filling process from 7 bags to 15 bags per day, while maintaining quality standards. Deformation was a recurring issue when we stacked our Joe textile bags up in different layers, as the bags face high degree of stress and has tendency to deform. With the invention of the interlocking strap, it improves and strengthens the structure of the Joe bags, rectifying any deformations previously faced, thus improving overall slope stability. 3D scanners were developed with NTU to collect deformation data accurately. The previous method of measurement was reduced to mere seconds. This improves our efficiency of scanning the bags for deformation. To further improve productivity, we developed material compaction tools such as electrical motorized tampers to reduce compaction time. This was accompanied with sensors to test for soil moisture and density to confirm optimal compaction of Joe bags. This ensures consistency of the pre-finished product. An example of a quality control card is displayed on the right. Another innovative solution was the best practice guide. We started by developing a construction manual that was very well received. The idea of creating the construction manual was to commission more specialist builders that will lead to a greater adoption of GBS in the industry. After receiving good response, we extended the best practice guide to cater to architects and engineers. The Architect's Best Practice Guide presents the various opportunities where GBS technology can be applied to, especially when trying to merge large platform level differences within the estate. Then came the next segment of built environment personnel, the engineers. They were requesting for templates to do the calculations, and this manual will guide them on the calculations required for authority submissions. Inside the guidebooks, detail the methodology and sequence to manufacture and assemble the Joe barrier system. We want the industry to scale up by guiding them on why it works and how it works. Next, we would like to share the challenges faced by the project team in executing the project. Of course, coming from 3 different sectors, government sector, academia, and private sector, we typically have different approaches to problem solving. The Tucker's 5 stages of team development, forming, storming, and norming stage, was very intense for us, and the 3 parties clashed often without a clear conclusion to our meetings. However, we developed consensus and quickly progressed into the performing stage, where many critical ideas were bounced about, and Hocklim had the access to the resources to complete them. For an SME like Hocklim, it's been our dream to spearhead this prestigious collaboration. Here are some important milestones that we achieved. We were a panelist and exhibitor in Switch 2020, organized by HDB and Enterprise Singapore. The guest speaker for Industry Innovation Dialogue, organized by NTU. We were presented with the Cool Ideas Enterprise Award, and latest in May this year, we completed the first private property GBS project in Cheng Sung Garden and was covered by Lian He Zaopao. Finally, we would like to share with you the results we gained from this collaboration. Firstly, we witnessed the improved scalability of widespread adoption in HDB estates such as Punggol, Bidadari, Tampines, Pasir Ris, other non-HDB slopes such as NParks, SLA, Santoso, and private property owners Cheng Sung Garden. There's some ripple in the LinkedIn network where GBS advocates are educating the professional network in unsaturated soil mechanics. And because of the early success of widespread adoption, we are now in the process of developing licensing models and filing our patents for overseas expansion. The following are results and spin-offs we have gained from this project. With regards to productivity, the overall efficiency of DFMA approach resulted in cost savings and reduction on the reliance of manpower. We also experienced revenue improvements as we gained a new business unit in geotechnical engineering. We made our revenue stream more robust, and during the research period, we achieved a CAGR of 18% for the past 3 years. There are many GBS spin-offs resulting in new products, such as the GBS Mini that we are pursuing in order to adapt this technology to different market segments. We have also ventured into the instrumentation sensor market. There is an increased interest in GBS as we are currently in talks with other government agencies such as NParks and SLA. HDB's influence in the local construction industry is evident, and we have good networking contacts to penetrate these customer markets. We are also looking to export this solution overseas. And finally, our ROI has seen the break-even point secured with 3 upcoming HDB projects in our orders book. In line with the BCA industry transformation map, our tripartite collaboration between Hocklim, NTU, and HDB addresses the vision for an advanced and integrated sector. By sharing our knowledge with the industry through the best practice guide, being a group of progressive and collaborative firms, and creating good jobs for Singaporeans. 70% of our engineering team today is made up of Singaporeans. We also address global trends such as shaping the construction industry by developing digital tools, 3D scanners and sensors, rapid urbanization technology such as DFMA, which is Lego-style modular construction, and combating climate change with GBS. Lastly, let us take a look at the benefits of joining the Cool Ideas enterprise. When Hocklim first identified this opportunity to enhance the Joe barrier system, we were expecting the need to liaise with multiple agencies, for example, getting funding support from Enterprise Singapore, seeking technical inputs from HDB, and securing test-bed sites to do performance testing. However, HDB's Cool Ideas enterprise serves as a one-stop shop, streamlining the overall development process by at least 20%. And we would like to thank all the parties involved to give us this opportunity to collaborate and showcase our solution on this stage. Finally, to all innovators and companies out there, we strongly encourage your team to take part in HDB's Cool Ideas Enterprise program. Thank you. I've come to the end of the presentation. Please contact us and visit our website at www.hocklim.com for more information if you're interested to find out about the Joe barrier system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chua. We have come to the end of today's presentation. We hope companies will come forward to explore research and innovation opportunities. Tap on the Raise to Go solutions and sign up for the various programs. If you are interested, please reach out to the e-Symposia Secretariat and we will be happy to assist you. I'll now hand over the time to our moderator, Dr. Yong, Senior Fellow at Aespada and fellow panelists for the Q&A session. Please feel free to raise any questions you have, either by typing your questions via the Q&A function or tapping on the Raise Your Hand function. Over to you, Dr. Lim.
Thank you very much, Han. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for participating in this USS R&D e-Symposia, focusing on the innovation and enterprising of the USS domain. And thank you very much, all the speakers, for your insightful talk on the various aspects of USS R&E. To kick off this Q&A session, let me first start by throwing a question, right, to Mr. Jean Christophe Lee. Mr. Lee, you have shared with us the technology you have developed and you have benefited from the BCA LLF funding scheme or BEAMP scheme. I'm sure many of our participants from the built environment industry will be keen to know how some of your customers have benefited from your technologies. Would you care to share?
Sure. Good question. So first, by using our last mile delivery platform, so our customers are able to plan their multiple deliveries a few days in advance before the actual delivery even happens. So at least they have peace of mind knowing that their material deliveries to their own customers have been confirmed. Second, our customers can trace the real-time movement of a material and they know what time the material is reaching to their construction site or to their own customers. So, and our system will also send them notification at different steps along the delivery process. So look at it as instead of a traditional way of a customer calling the supplier and the supplier having to call his driver and calling back the customer to update on the location. So our customers will just use our app and within seconds, they can see the location of the material. And finally, upon dropping off the items at the destination point, so the driver will snap a photo of the unloaded items as proof of delivery. So our customers can be confident that the delivery went smoothly without any of the staff and workers to be physically present.
Okay, thank you very much, Chris. Here we have another question for Ming Mao. In your sharing, you highlighted some industry system integrator partner Simtech had worked with over time. Can you elaborate on how these local SME have become such strong collaborators and partner with Simtech? If built environment companies wish to explore integration opportunity with your partners, how can they go about doing this?
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead, Ming Mao.
Okay, first of all, because we have actually a lot of opportunity comes from our model factory. When we set out a model factory, quite a number of system integrators coming, also looking at how they can use some of our technology to augment their offerings. For example, actually some of the, in the earlier, one of the inventory tracking system and collection and delivery system, some of the partners originally are just distributors selling RFID equipment, selling RFID tags. So in order to add value to their services, they slowly work with us. First, we work together, train them to do projects together, to use our inventory tracking system. Then over time, some of them even come out new product using our inventory tracking system as a background, design their own new systems. So we are looking for partners who can come and who feel that some of our existing digitalization technologies can help augment their offerings. For example, workflow mobile, we have system integrators coming to us because there are a lot of opportunities to what we call last mile of digitalization. There's a lot of opportunities. If you were to hard code every single one of them, it's going to be very tedious. So using things like workflow mobile, you can collect the data, and then all the data is already in a database. You can export, use a simple API and send it to your other system, your backend system, your ERP system, and so on and so forth. So we are actually looking for system integrators to also leverage on this technology, and if they can go regional as well. Okay, so we welcome. So for a start, probably you contact us, come down to our model factory, and we also need to understand what is your requirement as well. Okay, also bear in mind that Simtech is doing the next level of digitalization. So this first level of digitalization are what we call operation efficiency. It used to be manual, now I digitalize, I can have visibility, I can be more proactive, I know what is going on. The second stage is how do I be smarter? How can I use the AI, machine learning to provide even higher value services, and so on and so forth. So that's I have. Thanks.
I think the next question comes just about right when Ming Mao talk about how to contact Simtech. Here we have a question how one system integrator can be a partner of Simtech and how do they explore this opportunity. I don't know whether you have any link or email address that the participant can contact you to explore collaboration.
I will type my email in the chat and then you can contact me. We can arrange a visit to our model factory to understand our digital solutions. Then we can take it from there. We understand what is your requirement and take it from there. All right.
Okay, here we have another question. This is for Dr. Roland Lim of Simtech. My company is from the civil and structural subsector with operation covering the whole value chain from design to construction. And finally, maintenance. Who and how many people from my company should I send for this program?
Thank you, Dr. Lim. This is a wonderful question, actually. This participant clearly understand that in order to improve a company, we always say that it's not by improvement, by point improvement. Because if you have point improvement in your company, which means that you improve a company vertically by function. We know that companies are organized vertically into a function department, but the value flow in your company horizontally, which is what we call the whole value chain itself. Because when customer buy services and product from your company itself, they are buying the horizontal service actually, which means what? Which means that however complicated your supply chain, your company may be organized, they are looking for the horizontal services, which means what? From design to development, from construction to assembly, and finally the operation and the maintenance itself. So importantly, if company want to improve, we call it system improvement, system transformation rather than point improvement. Therefore, our OMNI program is organized in two modes. One we call a public class, whereby companies are small, and therefore they send 2-3 people to join the public class with other companies itself. There's another type of mode that we conduct the program, we call it a corporate class. So for your industry in the civil and structural subsector, which covers a lot of the value chain, it's important to send people who are managers of individual department or business unit itself, so that we can cover the whole value chain all the way from your design, your construction assembly, right up to your operation and the maintenance itself. Then it's important that we can draw out the whole business, we call it business model, as well as a whole value chain. And then improvement can be from a system level improvement. Then you can really transform the company, because we have seen a lot of companies who improve. They wanted to improve, but they adopt the point improvement method, which cannot really transform the company. So I like this question a lot, and whoever asked this particular question, do contact us. Can contact through Mimao also, because we are from Simtech itself. Thank you very much.
Seems like there are a lot of interest, right, in the technology. Both Ming Mao and Roland has shared. This other question is for Ming Mao again. For the e-data logger and workflow mobile, what is the typical turnaround time for developing a 1 to 2 page form to a digital format?
Okay, first I talk about e-data logger. For e-data logger, it's very easy. So typically you have a Word. Before you go in make your form, you already have an existing Excel or Word template. You can import the template into the e-data logger software, the app on your Android tablet, and then you configure every single field, how you want to capture the data. And then the data will be, when they fill up the form, the whole form is exportable into PDF, and then the data is exportable to Excel. So if it's a standalone, probably a simple form, maybe an hour or so, a complicated form, maybe half a day, depend how complex you want to do. The difficulty will be more like, you need to work with us. Where do you want to store the PDF file and the Excel after that? Do I want to email out? Do I want to WhatsApp out? Those we will come in and guide you. So we will train you to do a few forms. We'll give you a few templates. After that, it's on your own. You are empowered to create as many forms. We have a lot of corporate end users, both from MNC, LLE, as well as SMEs. Take one corporate license, then unlimited use. They can use as many forms that they can. Okay, workflow mobile is a little bit more complicated. Workflow mobile has a workflow. That means if, let's say, it's a sales work order, there's a sales inquiry, you may fire to a salesman, then he receive it, then he use it to fill in the form. After he fill in the form, it has to be routed back to somebody at the back end, maybe to prepare the quotation, and so on and so forth. So it depends on the workflow. So we will spend 2 days actually to train you on how to configure the workflow mobile using Excel template. We have a lot of samples for you to use and guide you to start off. So workflow mobile will probably take a simple form, probably 2 days. But if you are very familiar already using the existing template, you can cut and paste existing template and modify, change name, change field. Then it's very fast. So it requires a certain level of competency before you reach that level. So typically 1-2 page, probably 2 days after your training and testing, including the workflow. Okay, so this is the rough guide. But if you need very complex workflow, some of the projects that we do have complex workflow, especially let's say you do an inspection, and then there are many subsystems. One subsystem fail, you need a follow-up workflow to close that loop. another subsystem, another follow-up. Those is more complex. So for those, you will need to come and discuss with us. They'll probably take weeks to come out that workflow and test it. And then whether do you need to have integration with your backend systems? You want to integrate with your dashboard and so on and so forth. Those we need to discuss on the complexity. Typically for 1-2 page, e-data logger can be half a day, a few hours to half a day to 1 day. Workflow mobile, probably, if you already been trained, probably 1-2 days to get it up. Okay, that's a rough guide.
Thank you, Ming Mao. Here we have another question for Roland. Could we make business plan by using this business campus model?
Yeah, thank you again. The audience today have been very focused and know all the detail of the slides. Yes, a business model canvas. That's why I was saying just now, in order to have improvement, system transformation, importantly is to link to your business. Any kind of improvement in the company, any kind of transformation must definitely be linked to the business. What is the objective of the business? And for that, we use what we call a business model canvas, which has 9 building blocks. I always ask bosses of company, what are you in business for? You're not in business just to make money first. You're in business to bring value to the customer, bring value to the market first. Profit and industrial revenue is an indication you are bringing the right value to the market, to the customer. So a business model canvas has 9 blocks. Importantly is the value proposition. What is the channel you're bringing to the customer and the relationship? With these 3 blocks, if you do well, your revenue will go up. This is the 5th block. But to deliver the value, it's important to have the key activity, the key resources, the key partner. And in transformation, if you do this well, your cost structure operation will go down. So start with this business model first. Not only the as is, but also to be in the future. Is my value proposition valid now and into the future? If not, what kind of new business model must I come up with? We call it business model innovation. So it's not just to come up with a business plan alone. With OMNI methodology, we can drive all the way to your value stream, to your operation, to where are the hotspots in your operation that you need to close, where are the opportunity in the operation that you can capture on, and how to improve your processes and thereby bring value to your business objective itself. So it's more than just a business plan. It's all the way down to stage number 5, a roadmap of project, of initiative that you can do in order to transform your operation to meet the new business objective of your business. So it's more than that actually. And I welcome to contact me again so we can discuss further. Thank you very much.
I guess this next question is also directed to Ming Mao. Interesting question. For the e-data logger, can input be done through voice or handwriting on the screen?
Currently, it's not. Currently we don't have hand recognition or voice recognition, but Symtech has a sister institute called Institute of Infocom Research. They are very good in voice recognition, especially local, Singlish, dialect. Probably we will need to work on with them with this possibility. And then because fingerprint recognition is also dependent how consistent is your handwriting. If your handwriting is not very consistent, then it's very difficult. So there's also learning software to put it, but whatever handwriting software that is usually there's error. You still need to pick up. So actually, it can be a first cut, then backend somebody clean it out and make it easier for the to clean up the data later on. So it's never foolproof. Voice recognition and finger or OCR or what is always never 100% foolproof, but it can be a first cut. So if they are interested in this, we can work with Institute of Infocom Research together with us and then come out something probably much more powerful. All right.
I think I can offer some suggestion here. If you use Android or Apple iOS, they are already handwriting input that you can enable, either in Chinese or English, but you still have to pick up, like what Ming Mao say, you know, the right words that you key in. And if you want to do voice recognition, you also can enable Siri or in Google to allow you to do voice input. So the input field in the e-data logger, you can choose either using a pen or voice recognition to do the input already in, it's already supported by Google and iOS. Okay, we have the next question, again on RTG. You share some great example of clients that have benefited. I guess this is for Ming Mao, benefited from the tech development journey and project with Simtech. Could you elaborate some tangible area in which these clients have benefited from their tech partnership with you?
I think these clients are able to move into the digitalization space. So a lot of these customers, with these solutions, they allow them to enhance their whatever that they are doing with a software to sell and offer better value to the customer. So like I say, all these, whether is it some of these, actually we have actually, one tangible benefit is we have actually a lot of joint labs and big projects with big MNCs. So a lot of these levels of digitalization, we actually outsource. And having worked with us and then having understand each other capability, we can work together to offer such solutions. So they'll do the first mile digitalization while Simtech will handle the more AI part, the machine learning part, the predictive maintenance and logistic, predictive analytics parts and so on. So some of these clients actually increase in their sales, increase exposure, move into new areas with the technology that they have adopted from us. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ming Mao. I see Piau very excited expression and ready to jump in. So we have a question for BCA. All right, can we understand how built environment LLF can help companies trying new innovation to navigate regulation across different agencies? Piau, please.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Lim. No, I'm very happy that the audience here are asking all the correct questions and very interested in the technologies that are being so-called presented over here. Yeah, and then back to the question, BELF. So I think the BELF is a platform where we help to so-called matchmake solution providers to test bidding sites to actually showcase their technologies and fine-tune it. So I think the question here is that in the case where there are regulatory issues, okay, how do we then work through the agencies? So as I shared in my deck earlier, there's something called the Building Innovation Panel, where 7 regulatory agencies and HDB and JTC actually sits on. That is the platform where we will help the innovators to navigate through the regulatory clearance. So I think if you have any questions, I think feel free to drop us a note. I think if at the Building Innovation Panel level, we do offer pre-application consultations. So we will look at the solution being offered, identify the potential regulatory clearances that are needed. It could, if it's those building structural issues, then it's BCA. If it's fire safety issues, it's SCDF. It's environmental issues, it's NEA. So you look at the solutions, and we will facilitate discussions with the regulatory agencies, okay, to help the innovators navigate through the clearance process. Yeah, that's all from me. Thanks, Dr. Lim. Yeah.
Thank you, Piau. We have a question for Shen of Hocklim. Can you share more about the enhancement made to the geo-barrier system through Cool Idea Enterprise? Shen,
thank you, Dr. Lim. Yes, so regarding this Cool Ideas Enterprise, the main enhancement that we made was the creation of the best practice guide. Inside the best practice guide details many of the enhancements that we applied multidisciplinary technologies into the geo barrier system. Some examples include 3D scanners, and that was contributed by NTU's NTU. And we created many other motorized tools. I think we visited the CBR, and from there, I mean the Center of Building Research, and from there we could talk to many HDB's engineers and gather ideas about possible improvements that the HDB engineers have made in their other products. So all in all, the enhancements are not possible without the inputs from HDB and NTU, and yeah, we're very grateful for their support in this.
So we have a question for Chris Aespada. Any IP concern when you submit your idea? How do you protect them?
Okay, I was about to reply this question. So basically, the IP is still owned by the startup. So it's not, even though we got the grant to develop this software in collaboration with those supporters, but the product IP is still owned by us.
Okay, thank you. Here, I think there is a question to Ming again. You have highlighted some industry system integrator partner with Simtech and work with you over time. If BE company wish to explore integration opportunity with your partner, how can they go about that? I think we might have already answered that question, right? Sorry about that.
Actually, they can contact us. We can get the partners together. I'm not sure whether the slides will be shared. If this is shared, we actually indicate our partners and their contacts. But doesn't matter. You can contact me. I can link up with the partner. So whatever the partner can support, they can go ahead with it. But if you need additional support from Simtech, we will back our partners up. Please contact me and which technology you're interested in, and then we can link up.
Okay, I think we have. Can you provide, Ming Mao, can you provide a contact in the chat so people can get it? Yeah, just type it in.
I have actually included my chat when I answer to the other question.
Okay,
I'll retype it again.
Can. I guess I'm going through the chat box. There are no other questions. Anybody want to ask question verbally? We can allow that to I mean, the good old way of asking question.
I think there's a question asking, can HDB share any success story?
Okay. I just saw that because the question keep jumping up and down. So we have now a question for Heru. Right? Can HDB share any success story for your cool ideas enterprise?
Yeah, I would more than happy to share. I think I mentioned in my slides earlier on that we work together with one of the local companies called Wiki. So there is something about helping to enhance and providing this infrastructure to create the smart enabled homes. So it's about developing of the software and you know how we can help improve in the hardware. So that was actually successfully piloted in Punggol North Shore to more than 3,000 units. And well, currently, yes, is there, and from there we are actually looking at expanding and extending to more BTO projects. So I think that is one of the most relevant example that I can give you. But that's not the only one. We are currently working on a few interesting innovations. I think, like for example, whatever that Shen is working on for the geo barrier, that could be something that we can extend to more HDB projects. So it doesn't stop there. Yep, thanks Shen for the support also. So yep, there are other projects, incoming projects. We will definitely share with the industry if there are more success stories from CIE. Okay, but we do welcome ideas. Thanks.
Sorry, I see a question for Shen. for Chris, right? Could you share your take on digital solution for built environment? There seems to be many digital tech. Do you think there is still space for new innovation to enter? Chris?
Sorry, I was on mute. Okay, basically my takeaway on this is that, so over the past few months, right, so we've approached a lot of companies also to register on our last mile delivery platform, and numerous times, right, we observe some kind of reluctance, right, from those companies to change from their traditional way of booking their transportation services to a digital platform. So what we have done is we have adapted, we have made some changes to our approach. And what we are doing is we onboard some of those companies, right, on an offline mode for their first few transactions, right, before we can convert them to using the digital platform. So this is how we feel that we can close this gap. And yeah, I feel that there are a lot of companies out there, but there are also opportunities for startup. Yeah. I hope I have answered the question.
Okay, this is a question to both BCA and HDB. Construction companies and contractors are facing a difficult time now with COVID and manpower shortages. How can agencies such as BCA and HDB encourage more companies, I guess BE company, to engage on tech upgrading and adoption?
Dr. Lim, maybe let me
go ahead,
first,
Piau,
and then Heru can chip in. Yeah, so I think we do recognize that during this period of time, I think our industry partners are, they're not having an easy time, but we also recognize that this is the time that we should review our daily work processes, look into the areas where we think the use of technologies, digital technologies, robotics and automation solutions can actually help solve some of the, or ease some of the problems. Yeah, for example, manpower crunch and so on. So how is BCA or the agencies coming together is that they've actually put together some schemes to support firms in adopting, for example, productivity-driven solutions. Under the BCA website, there is something called Build SG Transformation Fund. Yeah, Build SG Transformation Fund. Within there, you will find a portfolio of schemes that we have put in place to help industry partners, take up new solutions to help them in their daily work. So one of the schemes that I can share, offhand is actually the Productivity Innovation Project funding, PIP, that one supports up to 80% for BE firms to actually adopt solutions that can lead to productivity gains. And the other one that I can recall offhand is something called the PSG grant, okay, which actually allow BE firms to take up pre-approved digital solutions. So that one is also 80% support given to firms. Yeah. So I think these are just some examples that I can of. And I think funding aside, we are also regularly engaging our partners, organizing some engagement sessions. For example, I think upcoming there's IBEW where we have invited a lot of solution providers to come forward to share their technologies. So from there, we hope to create greater awareness, and we encourage industry partners to really take up some of these solutions during this period of time. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Heru, anything you want to add, Heru? Yeah.
Yes. I will add on. Thank you, Piau. Okay. I mean, on top of what BCA has shared about all those different kind of funding, I think I'll speak to the scope of a CIE. Okay, so again, for CIE, we have the funding up to 70%, but we are looking for solutions that will require some kind of developmental works. So we are open to all these things, but we are also not just limiting to CIE. I mean, we have some rather ready solutions in the area of robotics, things that to address construction productivity. I think please do so. Either approach HDB, myself or Piau. I think what we do is always share notes with Piau at the back end. Okay,
yes, we work closely together.
Yeah,
actually.
we work closely together, so it doesn't matter. But I think from the aspect of CIE, like I said, the funding up to 70%, and one way is that on top of some of the in-house research that we do, collaboration with the industry, with IHLs and things like that, I think we're also looking for quick wins. So CIE is one of the platforms that where we go out and to look for some of these more low-hanging fruit, give local companies a chance, or they can even partner with overseas company to come to us, so that they will know better what are some of the HDB requirements. For example, we do have some unique requirements as we, for example, we adopt a very high percentage of precast, so that there's some requirements of precast. So you come to us, we can provide this kind of mentorship, okay, on top of the funding under CIE. And with that, we do also provide one of the leading labs or one of the construction site to test out your solution, and a pilot site, so that you can further refine your solution, and that would lead to greater opportunities for implementation in HDB. So I think please do keep a lookout for our challenge statement. How we encourage this is that usually just to give you a sneak preview in the later part of this year, we'll be launching a challenge statement that is related to construction productivity. So those who are interested, please do submit all your good innovations and proposal to us, and then I think together with BCA we'll review your solution. So do keep a lookout. Okay, thanks.
Okay, let's have the last question. I see one here for BCA and HDB to comment. Our encounter so far, well, now is the best time to innovate and adopt digital solution for existing projects. But the cost of doing so, I guess, was not factored in existing contract. A new solution player may lack track record to go for existing funding, subsidy support. What is your view? This one is for BCA and HDB.
Yeah, maybe let me try to understand the question a little bit more. So I'm not very clear what is meant by the cost was not factored in the existing contract costs. My interpretation is that when the contract was signed, the cost of leveraging on a digital solution was not factored in, and hence it doesn't cover the cost for the so-called the contractor to then use it. So I think I'm not exactly sure what is that digital solution about. But as I mentioned earlier, there is if you go to the PSG Transformation Fund website, there is something called the PSG grant, where we actually have offer the digital solutions, pre-approved digital solutions. So I'm not sure whether some of these could be applicable. So for those solutions that are pre-approved, we actually provide 80% support for the adoption. And then for new solution players, solution providers that lack track record to go into existing funding and subsidy support, I do agree that this is an issue. Yeah, I think there was a comment earlier. There are so many solution providers, especially in the digital space out there. How do you gain a track record? And I think this is where the Built Environment Living Lab framework could come into play, because we offer test building sites. So do submit your application if there's interest, okay? And we'll link you to a test site for you to actually trial your solution and showcase its capabilities. Yeah, that's all from me. Heru, anything you want to add?
Yeah, actually, same as you. I don't quite understand the question. What do you mean by putting in digital, not factoring digital and automation things inside existing projects? So are you saying that halfway through that we cater for change to the scope of the contract scope and to allow digitalization. So I'm not too sure, but to me, it's never we are not limiting to now as the best time to innovate. I think every day is a good time now to innovate and to introduce all this digitalization and innovation. Well, I think if you have some digital solution, I think what I can offer now is CIE, because I'm not really too sure where you're coming from. Are you saying that to change halfway through to introduce more digital solution into our BTO projects construction halfway or something like that? But I think there's some other consideration that we have to look at in terms of the procurement aspects and depending on the status and of the projects and the progress of projects and reaching to what kind of in terms of the progress, site progress. So I think there's a lot of factors to consider and not just switching it like that, freely. Okay, so yeah, I think that's my input.
Okay, thank you very much, Piau and Heru. With that, I guess we have come to the close of the webinar. Thank you very much for all your participation in this session. And also thanks all the speakers for all your talk and insightful sharing of technology that the built environment company can adopt, and give a lot of example of how people or how some company have benefited from the technology adoption. And I guess the contact for Ming Mao and Roland has been shared. So if any of you want to contact them to explore, right, the adoption of some of the tech that they have shared, please do feel free to contact Ming Mao or Roland. And also we have a great model factory to showcase many of the digital technology. And feel free to contact them also to arrange for a visit to the model factory. Once again, thank you for taking time to attend this webinar. And we look forward to all of your participation in your digitalization and technology adoption journey. Pass back to you, MC.
Thank you, Dr. Lim, and all our speakers for the lively discussion. Before we end today's webinar, please allow me some time to make a few announcements. September will be a busy month for all of us. Let me say again. September will be a busy month as we are having an exciting series of e-Symposia webinars. First up, we will be having a webinar to share on test bidding opportunities in Jurong Lake Gardens next week. If you have an innovative solution and would like to test bid it in a live operational environment, we will be glad to work with you to explore collaboration opportunities. Following that, on 17th September, we will be having the final webinar in the series of 3 City in Nature webinars, which have stretched over the past 2 months. Join us for this webinar to learn how we can coexist with nature as we integrate more greenery and biophilic elements in our urban landscape. Finally, on the 24th of September, we will be inviting expert speakers to share with us on cutting-edge technologies in the built environment space. If after today's webinar, you're inspired to embark on your innovation journey, but have no idea where to start, that is the webinar for you. All these webinars are complimentary. If you are interested to register for them, do find out more from our portal and our upcoming EDMs. Now, the International Built Environment Week will also be happening soon in a couple of weeks. So get your tickets to this comprehensive event today by scanning this QR code. Finally, if you would like to learn more about the e-Symposia webinar series, please visit our online portal by scanning the QR code. Information on all the announcements will be screened after the webinar. Now with that, we have come to the end of today's session. Please remember that attendees who are present for over 75% of the webinar are eligible to receive 2 PDU points from the PE board. You can send in your details to us if you wish to receive these points. We hope to see you at our upcoming webinars. Thank you and have a great week ahead.